Hey again, YouTubers. This is Jgsf1987 again. I know, it's going to be 2 videos in one night. I know, pretty sweet. Twofer. Yeah, actually in my last video, I forgot to mention something actually about Hillary Clinton in terms of the presidential race. I don't think I need to say too much about the fact that Hillary's poll numbers are falling pretty dang fast. That's not news to anybody. No, but what is newsworthy is actually she came out apparently a little earlier on ABC News. I'll see if I can find that clip and throw it in the description. I'll see if I can find it. Anyway, she was apologizing for using that, for using her private email server after it was revealed that she was that she had a bunch of classified information on it, especially what was deemed through the CIA as per its duty for answering to FOIA lawsuits, Freedom of the Freedom of Information Act. Well, apparently 2 emails were apparently supposed to be top secret. Now, in terms of classified information, that is the most classified information. Granted, she's not the first person to do this, especially to use a private email server, but she did admit in hindsight she should have used one of the State Department's servers. It would have been she wouldn't have been in this mess. Even though I know she's trying to come clean about it, and the declassification of some emails or whatever is going through it, she admits she made the error in trying to do something out of convenience, which she's right in one sense. It's technically not illegal what she did, but it's not the savviest way to do it. It's not the most kosher way to do it, actually. It would have been better if she just used a government server. Would have been. And in hindsight, having 2 mobile phones around probably would have been a better idea. But you can't change the past. What this says to me, at least, is that she, I wouldn't say that she's been entirely dishonest. I think she's been trying to be as transparent as she can, but knowing how all these different agencies like to go through their little classifications and keeping some information, for the state secrets doctor, and it is what it is. The fact is, it would have been better if she hadn't done it, and I think this possibly would have killed any chance of her getting the presidential nomination. I don't see her getting the nomination at this point. I think too many rank-and-file Democrats are starting to look elsewhere, and they're not getting too excited by her at this point. Granted, she and Bill did a lot of good for this country. I'm not questioning their patriotism. They're patriots. Just like in their odd ways, shall we say. Ronald Reagan. I mean, they all love this country. I mean, even Republicans love this country. Don't get me wrong. Not all Republicans are knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. Not all of them are. Most of them are actually not that... don't have that many screws loose. Just like most Democrats are not these insane liberals. But that aside, this kind of reminds me of the Bush administration using a private email server to get around the Presidential Records Act. So it kind of drags that in a little bit. So that's where I'm saying that it could be construed as it could be construed as that, basically. So it's, like I said, it's most likely that at this point, I think it's going to end up killing her. And I personally think that Bernie Sanders at this point has a much better shot at getting it. I'm sure if Joe Biden ran, he would have a pretty good shot too. This isn't to say that Joe Biden would be a bad president. Quite the contrary. I think he would be a very good president. But based off of what I've heard from Joe Biden himself, he hasn't made much of a decision. I'm sure he's mulling it over with his family, but I think with the recent death of their oldest son, Biden's oldest son, Beau, and that recent death, I'm kind of sure at this point his family doesn't have the stomach for it. And because his family doesn't have the stomach for it, I don't think he's going to run. Joe Biden is kind of the epitome of a comeback kid, basically, but I don't think he's going to run. He's in mourning, so there's no need to rush a decision at this point. And if he chooses not to run, or if he does choose to run, well, it'll be on him. Anyway, this whole thing with Servergate, I wouldn't give the right-wing news outlets too much. I wouldn't give them too much credibility. But it's enough to really warrant some thinking here as to, okay, if this had happened, what else is there that can really derail anything that could possibly that could possibly bring the Republicans back into the presidency and cause a much bigger mess than they had under George W. Bush? That's the question you got to ask yourselves. I personally think that Bernie Sanders is our best shot. He's the only one who I think can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump at this point. So, I don't know. So, yeah. If you like this, subscribe. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. I posted in my last video in the description. I'll post it again here. Same thing with Google+. Anyway, Jgsf1987 out.